Well, hey guys, welcome back to Southern Adventures. Today we're heading up to Big Frog Mountain. Hey guys, welcome back to Southern Adventures. Today we're going to hike up to the top of Big Frog Mountain. Now I'm not going to really show a lot of the trip on the way out, the driving part of it, because I did do a video where I went out to Silco Campground, which shows most of the road back to where the Big Frog turnoff and parking area is. I'll show that to you once we get up there, anything I've come across along the way as well. Now I always get on a few of the forums before I go out to these areas just to check to see how the road conditions are, any issues people have been having with the trail or in the area. One of the questions I always see on the forums is, how are the roads? I've got a low profile vehicle, can I get back there? Or do you need four-wheel drive or four-wheel drive clearance? This is a pretty well used service road. They do keep this road up, graded pretty well in most cases. Now a lot of times when it does rain, it will wash out in certain areas. But as far as a vehicle is concerned, getting back here, if you do have a lower profile vehicle, like a sedan of some sort, four-door, you'll be fine coming back out through here. But I'll say the lower profile vehicle that you have, just take it slow. The slower you go, the less likely you're going to get yourself in any kind of trouble. You come across any kind of little washed out areas, just make sure you take it from the side so that one wheel goes in at a time, and you should be fine. I would always recommend a higher profile vehicle, four-wheel drive clearance at least, but you definitely are not going to need any kind of four-wheel drive capability to get out here. So just keep that in mind. You will be able to get out here in a lower profile vehicle. All right, so we are at the T, I like to call it. So you can go left here, takes you all the way down into what's called Grassy Creek, and you go right here, takes you up to the parking area for Big Frog Mountain. And if you keep on going down about another 6 miles maybe, you run into Silco Campground. Like I said, I do have a video where I went out to Silco Campground that will show most of this trip out there and where the turnoff is for Big Frog. I will link that up here at the top of the video for you. All right, we are, I believe, coming up on the turnoff to the campground. Yeah, okay. So here's your turnoff that you can park at and hike on up to the top of Big Frog. Let's see if we got any other folks down here today. Okay, so yeah, we got a Prius out here. Pretty sure you can make it in just about any vehicle, guys. All right, guys, here we are. Just got outside the truck here. Got my backpack on with the gear. Very mild amount of gear today, since it's such a long hike. Maybe about 15 pounds. So I've got my camera, a few other things in there for when we get to the top of the summit here. So we're going to start up the trail here, and I'll show you the start of that trailhead. It shows we're here, and we're going to be following that yellow path you see there. So let's get on the trail. A lot of foliage out here, especially during the summer. During the winter, this has cleared out quite a bit. This trail, though, it really starts to widen up once you get at the middle part of the trail. Almost as wide as like a horse trail would be. So we'll turn the camera off for now and get a little further up. I'll turn it back on. We'll see what we're doing. So I wanted to turn it back on here just a second, kind of show you how widened the trail gets. We're maybe a quarter of the mile, half a mile into the hike, and it's turned into this, and it stays this way for quite a while. One thing I'm gonna recommend, bring some bug spray if you come this time of year, because I am already starting to get eat up. Sweating quite a bit as well, because it's really wet humid and muggy out here right now, so if you got some active gear instead of a cotton shirt, that might be helpful as well. Well, I'll turn it off and we'll see what we find a little ways up. Crossing by a little area here, it's got a stream running down. It's not really running across the trail. It is coming that way and goes through a culvert under the trail and on down. It's pretty neat. All right, guys, I wanted to stop here for just a minute. Now, there's a lot of alternative paths that'll take you up to Big Frog. This is actually one of them. You can see, and there's a little campground down there as well. And if you hike a little past that campground, it'll take you down on about another 4-mile trip across 2 creeks. Actually, you won't get to the second creek if you're going up to Big Frog. If you go past the Big Frog turn-off trail and go down and keep going straight, you'll run into that second creek. That is an alternative path. It is a much harder path. I've done that path 4 times, not actually up to Big Frog, but there's an area past that second creek down there that I found years and years and years ago that is an absolutely beautiful area and a great campground. It is very far back though, very secluded, and you know, you're not close to anybody or anything, so you just got to be very careful, especially if you're going by yourself. But we're going to bypass this for now. Also, there's a little lake that's off to your right when you go down through there. I think it's just rainform because it goes up and down quite often. But you might want to check that out while you're on this trail as well. But we'll get back on the trail here. I'll show you the path in front of me, and then I'll turn it back on when we get a little further up. Just kind of showing as much of the trail as I can here, guys, so you can see how it changes back and forth. We're back into a lot of foliage now. The trail is basically slightly uphill so far the entire way. Some areas are worse than others as far as going uphill, but it is just a slight increase as you're traveling the trail. So it's not real bad, and you're able to keep a pretty good steady pace. And here is a point where you might start kind of thinking you're losing the trail. The trail is here. There's so much foliage though, you can't see the trail. So you get to a certain situation like that, just stop, look around, assess, and follow your instincts from there. All right, guys, we're coming up on a turning point here. Let's see, we're going to take a look. Still on that Big Frog Trail, Yellowstone Lead Trail, number 73, and that's right there in front of me. So we're going to keep heading to the left here and stay on Big Frog Trail. I can see Big Frog over to the left side of me. I don't know if you can tell through the camera or not, but we just made that turn and heading over in that direction. Looks like we got another little camping area right here. Now I know a lot of the scouts, they come up here on some of their trips, and they probably stay at a lot of those areas overnight, you know, do an overnight camp out, things like that. And it's not a bad trail. But from here, I think we're gonna start a little bit more of an uphill descent. So I'll turn the camera around, you can see a little bit of that in front of me. Guys, that is one big old tree. Huh. I don't remember seeing that last time I was out here. You can see we're still going uphill. It's been that way the entire time since I hit that, that little fork in the road. All right, we're a pretty good ways up. You can see the summit over to my left there. Still a good ways uphill. Got to follow this path all the way up and around there. So we'll get to it. All right, so remember when we first stopped and I showed you that other direction you can go? Well, if you go down there about 4 miles and take a right up the trail after that 4 mile mark, this will be the trail you come up on. It shows it goes down the Benton McKay Trail. That other direction puts you on the Benton McKay Trail and part of the Appalachian Trail. We're going to turn around and keep heading on up. We're about there. All right, we're still heading up and around. We just went down a little ravine around the mountain. Now we're heading back up the other side. Path's got a little narrow, kind of straight downhill from here. Kind of rocky through here, coming up to the summit, so gotta be a little careful. All right, we're on top of a mountain, and looks like we're just going across it to get to Big Frog. So we'll hop across this real quick, head back up the other side. All right guys, well I have made it to the top of Big Frog Mountain, and as you can see all around me, you can't see a thing up here because of the foliage today. So this is not a wasted trip, however. I did make it up to Big Frog Mountain for the second time and got the video at this time on the way up. Last time I did this was probably 10 plus years ago, and didn't have any camera equipment with me back then. Cell phone, took some pictures. That was during the winter time, and you could see over the mountain. And like I said, this wasn't a lost trip, although you can't see right now over the foliage. I am going to see if I have enough room to get my drone up over the trees here so we can get a little bit better view of where we're at today. So I hope you enjoyed the trip with me. I hope you enjoy the next little bit of footage that you see. And listen, until next time, get out there and create your own adventure.